This is the KRUI News at Noon, brought to you in part by the Daily Iowan. This is KRUI, Iowa City.
12 noon, the temperature in Iowa City is 54 degrees, and for KRUI, I'm Nick Moffitt.
And I'm J.B. Stockdale.
And here are today's headlines.
Joni Ernst tipped the scales yesterday, giving the Senate back to Republicans and becoming the first woman senator from Iowa.
And in local elections, many Johnson County races came right down to the wire. See how local elections ended last night.
And emojis are commonly used, but Apple is taking a step to diversify the icons. All of this is coming up on your KRUI Noon News.
Today's top story is Joni Ernst now making her trip from Red Oak, Iowa to Washington, D.C. Ernst defeated Bruce Braley by 8.5 percentage points, more than any poll prior to the election projected. Ernst becomes Iowa's first woman senator and the first female veteran to ever take office in the U.S. Senate. During her acceptance speech, Ernst said she was ready to make Washington squeal. The 44-year-old campaigned herself as a mother, soldier, and leader who would focus on government spending, healthcare reform, and veteran issues. She will now take over for retired Senator Tom Harkin, who controlled the seat since 1985. The loss for Bruce Braley will leave him without a job come January, as he sacrificed his House of Representatives seat to run his campaign. The Ernst-Braley race ended up giving control of the Senate to Republicans, as Fox News did not call the Senate for the GOP until the Ernst victory was called.
Governor Terry Branstad was reelected last night by a handy margin over Democratic challenger Jack Hatch. The victory kicked off a night of Republican dominance in which they netted at least 7 Senate seats, which is one more than they needed to take control of the Senate. And 2 races in Louisiana and Alaska will be decided in runoffs and could potentially give 2 more seats to the GOP. The Republican caucus now has a full control of Capitol Hill, controlling both chambers of the legislature. This was the first time since 2007 the GOP controlled the Senate, and in the House, the party that has the largest majority since World War II.
Through ballot measures last night, Washington, D.C., Oregon, and Alaska voted to legalize marijuana for recreational use. The states now join Washington, Colorado as allowing personal use of the drug. Cannabis remains banned by the federal government, which classifies marijuana as a Schedule I substance along with heroin and LSD. For Washington, D.C., the ballot measure will have to pass a review process coming from Congress that, according to Huffington Post, would show a marked change in federal attitudes towards the drug. Voters in Florida failed a measure by a slim margin that would have brought medical marijuana to the state. Currently, 23 states have some sort of medical marijuana bill.
And in the Iowa City area, despite an increase in turnout, a local option sales tax that would have added a 1 cent to goods and services sold failed to pass. 54 to 46% in the contiguous cities of Iowa City, Coralville, North Liberty, University Heights, and Tiffin. Those 5 cities had to combine for 50% vote in order to pass. Money from the tax would have gone to repairing streets, property tax relief, and affordable housing. Mayor Pro Tem of Iowa City, Susan Mims, said that she expects the measure to be back on the ballot soon.
The third time isn't the charm for the courthouse annex bond referendum. 56.9% of voters said yes to approve the referendum, but the measure required a 60% supermajority to pass. If passed, the referendum would have allowed the city to expand the Johnson County Courthouse. After the 2 previous failed proposals, officials dropped a new jail and shaved almost $2 million off the price, but the referendum still did not pass.
And the Johnson County Board of Supervisors is back to an all-Democratic membership. Supervisor Janelle Reddick retained her spot, and Mike Carberry unseated Republican John Etheridge to gain a spot on the board.
One gubernatorial race is going to have a unique ending. The race in Vermont is now going to come down to a process that hasn't been used since 1986. Neither incumbent Peter Shumlin nor Scott Milne, the challenger, received over 50% of the vote, so now the state legislature will decide the winner of the race. Democrats are expected to control the legislature and vote for the plurality winner, Democrat Shumlin.
And in a new report from Mac Rumors, Apple will be adding a skin tone modifier to their popular emojis. This update will come with a Unicode 8.0 update that will allow users to decide the skin tone of emojis and eventually add separate tones for couple emojis. This comes after Apple vowed to make the emojis more diverse in March earlier this year. The update is planned for mid-2015 but could be delayed as emoji standards are set by the Unicode Consortium.
A new college football playoff ranking has come out, and the committee currently rates Mississippi State, Florida State, Auburn, and Oregon as the top 4 teams in the country. The committee will continue to release weekly rankings until December 7th, where they will set the field for the inaugural college football playoff.
Today's forecast includes a chance of rain this afternoon, and highs should be in the upper 50s. The area could see rain again tonight, as well as gusts up to 40 miles an hour. For KRUI, this has been your noon news with
Nick Moffitt
and JB Stockdale. Go Hawks.
Check. Yo, we'd like to roll out a 3-day